Discover. Everyone can talk to a real person anytime, day or night. Limitations apply. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
So I wore my fancy new Christmas boots that my wife got me.
Ow, it don't hurt.
Got a cramp. See? Gotta stretch before you do that.
Oh, my hip.
Stop trying to do crazy gymnastics in the studio.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
The feeling you get when gas prices go up again. Now you can lose that feeling forever because O'Reilly Chevrolet lets you say goodbye to gas stations and hello to savings with their state-of-the-art Blazer EVs. If you're looking for a vehicle with zero emissions and a dealership with zero hassle, look no further than O'Reilly.com. Call 747-8000 or test drive one today on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Charge into the future at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stopped. Opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
Frog and Firkin, a standout among the bars and restaurants in the University area. Frog and Firkin does what very few pubs can, combine a festive atmosphere and great beer with a menu that could stand on its own in any restaurant setting. A sports enthusiast dream with over 30 TVs, 30 beers on tap, and over 100 import and domestic bottles. Daily drink and food specials, and the kitchen is serving until 10. A standout in the University area, Frog and Firkin. Eat local, support local. frogandfirkin.com.
Experiencing the Sonoran Desert's natural wonders comes easy at Rock & Kay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rock & Kay. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockandK.com. Designed by nature, built for you. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy?
Totalmente.
Now you can get 50% off any unlimited data phone plan. That's one line for only $25 a month, and you keep the phone you love. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. So find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Offer ends July 31st, 2024. Promo subject to cancellation after 12 months. Available exclusively online and in Total by Verizon stores. Requires a compatible unlocked device and SIM. See totalbyverizon.com for device compatibility and additional details. Taxes and fees may apply.
Wildcats fans from coast to coast can bring a little bit of Tucson to themselves wherever they happen to be by streaming 1290 on our website at wildcatsradio1290.com. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Game 2 of the NBA Finals last night goes to the Boston Celtics.
Doncic double team, stripped and stolen. He's upset, thought he was fouled. Here's Tatum, back to Brown for the slam. Brown serving, now attacking. Doubled, Horford, Pritchard, Tatum. Three-pointer, got it! Irving Fakes, nice feed inside. Gafford with an easy slam. Beautiful move there from Irving, his 5th assist. Irving, alley-oop, and Gafford throws it down. Perfect pass from Kyrie Irving, and the Mavericks back with an 8. Holiday deflects it. Doncic has to throw it. White with the steal. Holiday to Horford. Holiday a 3. Bang! Drew Holiday from downtown. Lead back up to 11. Tatum head down to the rim. Misses the jam. Holiday comes up with it. Holiday to drive. White. 3-pointer. Puts it in. Back-to-back threes. Timeout Dallas. 7 seconds remaining. The Celtics are going to take a 2-0 lead in the finals. A smothering defense here in the 4th quarter.
105-98, the final. The Celtics win game 2 to take a 2-0 series lead. Drew Holiday, 11 of 14 from the floor, 26 points to go along with 11 rebounds, 21 for Jaylen Brown. The Celtics were 19 of 20 at the line in this game, and 32 for Luka, another triple-double. Oh, well, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists for Luka. Do they count it as he had 8 turnovers in this game? If he had double-digit turnovers, is it a quadruple-double? Does turnovers count in that?
No, negative stats do not count.
Okay.
No. Let's say you get blocked 10 times. It's not going to count as a 10. You were blocked 10 times either. No.
There you go. So game number 3 will be in Dallas. J-Dub, thoughts on the Celtics taking a 2-0 series lead?
I just think, what you're seeing is the Celtics defense, which is really primarily what they've hung their hat on all year long. A lot of really good perimeter defenders on that roster. Luka, despite his numbers, DK, he was a game-time decision to go last night. So I don't know exactly what's wrong. He said that it happened when he was taking a charge and that he actually didn't feel the ill effects until the day after. That was from game 1. But right now, what we're seeing is the Mavericks are having a really hard time doing their thing because the Celtics are guarding them one-on-one. We talked about this after game 1. If you send a lot of blitzes, which is the term they use for ball handlers in the NBA these days, when you blitz Kyrie Irving, when you blitz Luka, you just send a secondary defender at him regardless, as soon as he crosses half court, right? And that's to get him sped up. But that's where you see the 15, 20 assists from Luka. He's got eyes all over his head. He can see the whole court. When you play them one-on-one because you've got 5 solid on-ball defenders on the court at once, you see a situation like that in game 1. Where Luka only had the 1 assist, had 2 assists in that opening game. This time around, they did get some of those lobs. More lob dunks from the Mavericks through these playoffs than any other team in the NBA. They really, all their secondary players, Gaffords of the world, Derek Lively II, they're getting a lot of stuff right at the rim because of the attention Kyrie and Luka are drawing. But the Celtics, they don't really necessarily have to throw a secondary defender. Between Derek White, Tatum's a good defender, Brown's a very good on-ball defender. Drew Holiday may be the best guard defender, perimeter defender of his era. So, yeah, and it's really tough right now for Mavericks. Hopefully, that last maybe 5 minutes of the 4th quarter, it was a lot closer than the scores indicates because they really cut the lead down to about 5 with about a minute and a half to go. And it was a one-play here or there from turning. It wasn't the blowout that the first game was, but the Mavericks really need to figure out a way to get some easy offense. Maybe increase the tempo a little bit. Maybe try to get out and run a little bit more because that half-court defense by the Celtics really, really holding them in check.
Well, they tried to get out and run on that one play at the end, and guy pushed him in the back and blocked.
Yeah, that should have been a foul. But again, it was a semi-minimal contact by Brown in the back. He got blocked by 2 players as well. So yeah, that's a tough one. You wonder where maybe that should be a reviewed play down the stretch of a game type of thing. But again, I don't know that would have that was right in the midst of them cutting that lead down to 5 or 6 towards the end of the game. But hey, the Celtics, DK, have been the best team in the NBA all season long. And this is a team that just, has finals experience. There's nobody on that team that's won a final, an NBA finals, except for Drew Holiday. But you talk about the core group of those guys. They just, This is their 4th or 5th Eastern Conference Finals in a row. This is their second finals with that group. So they've been there, done that. You might remember they had some success, but ultimately fell to the vastly superiorly experienced Warriors team, which is who beat them in their finals appearance. It's the tables have turned. They actually have quite a bit more experience other than Kyrie Irving. They are the ones who understand what it takes this time of year to get wins.
All right, let's hear from Jaylen Brown after the ball game, a 105-98 win by the Celtics over the Mavericks.
Jaylen, this one was obviously more of a grind than the Game 1 victory. What in your mind was the difference for you?
We just made plays down the stretch. Give credit to Dallas. They came out and they played a much better game, much tougher game. And we just kept going, kept wearing on them, kept trying to wear them down, and we made enough plays to win the game.
2 games up. Really a chance you can get really happy. How do you stay focused and say, you know what, we got 2 more games. Trust me, it's hard to do. Been there many times, but you're so close. But how do you, as one of the leaders in the locker room, keep your guys focused and say, hey, the job's not done until the job is done?
Exactly. Just stay in the moment. It's almost short-term memory. We got to play this series like we down to. We got to go in on the road and take care of business. But it's easy. Just stay in the moment. Just talk to the guys, talk to them through adversity, to stay together, to handle resilience and adversity. That's the most important thing. So I think we'll be ready.
And just defensively, you guys have been, you first of all been spectacular. The point of attack guarding Luka, but as a team, everyone locked in, making life miserable. Just the mindset of going against a Luka Doncic, a Kyrie Irving, 2 dynamic scorers. It's not a one person or 2 people. It's a 10 or 2 collective effort. And just talk about y'all's approach to guarding and defending them.
Yeah, it's a full team effort. We know those guys got some of the best offensive firepower in the league, so we definitely got to be better in communication. Tonight I thought we weren't as crisp as we needed to be, but we were able to wear on them still. Luka still had 30-plus points, but we was able to take some of the rest of those guys out of it. But we got to be more crisp on the road if we expect to win.
Jaylen, how happy are you when everybody said y'all live and die by the 3? You didn't shoot the 3 well, you still win games. Give me that mindset when things are not going well behind the 3-point line, that y'all know that you can still win ugly games.
Yeah, and our defense is what provides that. We didn't shoot the ball nowhere near to our standard, but we kept getting to the paint, kept getting great looks. All night I was just trying to create 2-on-1s. All night I was just driving, trying to make the 5 help, and then just trusting my teammates on the backside. Got to take care of the ball a little bit more, but I'll take those looks. Most games we're going to be able to make those. We just got to stay with the game plan, stay with the format, and we'll be all right.
Jaylen, you and Jason, 19 of the 29 assists between the 2 of you. You're the primary scorers, obviously, on this team. To folks at home, the kind of trust required for you guys to be willing to give it up and to move the ball the way you have most of the season.
I think that's a part of our growth. Being able to, be in those moments and see the right play and make the right read and trust our teammates. I think that's a part of our growth. We've been in these situations before, and we trust our teammates. All season we've been empowering guys, D. White, Sam, Peyton, to come in and let it fly. They're getting open looks, so tonight it was the same thing.
Jaylen, I don't have a question, but I'm going to give you some G14 classification information because this is going to be the last time you see me. Okay. It's a riddle. Do not get fixated on useless titles. Do what you got to do. Doesn't matter who's who or they say who's what. It ain't time for all that right now. Do what you got to do and get it done.
I understand. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
That made sense to you?
No.
Okay.
Okay, well, let me break it down. They're trying to separate you and your guy by saying who's better and who better. I'm saying don't worry about useless titles. Who's the man? Don't matter who the man is. Kobe's the man, Shaq the man. It don't matter. I'm getting my 40. Kobe getting his 39. Let's go win these championships.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what that meant.
I agree with that. Yes, sir. I understand.
Since you didn't understand, I had to break it down to you. Tell him, Grant. Tuck that elbow in.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now when we're 20 years retired, but when we were playing together and couldn't get along, and it mattered then, apparently.
I think Kobe Bryant broke the media because, DK, who's the last player in the NBA that you remember taking a fadeaway over the top of 3 defenders when 2 guys are wide open? When was the last time you saw that happen? It doesn't happen anymore. Right? How does Luka get 12 assists? Is because he's shooting every shot over 3 defenders? No. Because modern players are super willing passers when you see extra defensive attention, that's how you win basketball games. This whole like Tatum Brown thing, trying to pit those guys against which one of you is the alpha, which one of you is the Kobe, all this stuff. Even Shaq right there, don't listen to that noise. I'm hearing them try to turn this into a thing, and as they have since, Tatum was a much more highly regarded guy coming out than maybe Jaylen Brown was, but over the course of the last 4 years, equally, they're both MVP, Jason Tatum conversation, all that stuff. Watch Jaylen Brown on both sides of the ball. He's doing okay for himself. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which of those two guys is the best, because why? Because neither of them is putting up 40 field goal attempts like Allen Iverson might have or Kobe might have. Neither of those two guys is looking to get their shot off regardless of the defense. They're just making the right basketball play every time. And when you have players make the right basketball play, this whole trumped up, are you guys mad at each other because one guy's name is ahead of the other? It's some kind of 1950s Hollywood, my name's ahead of yours on the billing for this movie, DK, therefore I'm going to throw a fit. Come on. I mean, I've never seen it out of either of those two guys. I think they need to let that one go. I don't think Tatum and Brown are feuding with each other behind the scenes as much as many of the national media want them to be.
No, not at all. All right, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. So, again, game number 3 will be down in Dallas. In that series, game number 2 of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals is happening tonight. That'll be down in Florida. The Panthers with a 1-zip series lead over the Edmonton Oilers. And that'll be, I believe, a 5:30 start tonight on game 2. Actually, it'll be
5 p.m.
Yeah, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. start on that. So at about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, the Florida Panthers looking for another hot performance from Sergei Bobrovsky, who had 30 saves in that game on Saturday night to shut out the Edmonton Oilers by a score of 3-0. Edmonton trying to become the first team in Canada since the what was it, the 80s? Did we say last week 85 or no? 90s,
late 80s, I think.
Late 80s,
yeah.
To win a title. It's been a long time. Been a long time for sure. All right, we're going to dive much more into the meeting between Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, and the Arizona Board of Regents that also included both athletic directors from the two major universities here in Arizona, Desiree Reed-Francois from the U of A, Graham Rossini, the new AD at Arizona State. You'll hear from all of them straight ahead. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We'll also have your D-backs. Check in on them. Rough weekend in San Diego. Is there such thing as a rough weekend in San Diego?
No, there is not.
I don't think so. I don't think it.
Especially for those guys who are probably staying at a 12-star hotel.
Right.
They're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I think that there's no such thing when you make that kind of money of having a rough weekend.
70 degrees every day of the year. No, there's no such thing.
Absolutely beautiful. We'll dive into what happened with the Diamondbacks as well. Right now, cricket, though, getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported Broadway near Country Club, west of Country Club on Broadway. Also crashed Bear Canyon and Tanca Verde and Bear Canyon. Road work and some slowing east and westbound on Grant Road, east of Country Club. And for your weather, 71 the low. There is an excessive heat warning from 11 a.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. on Thursday, with our highs around 108. It is 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the ultimate playground for online social casino enthusiasts. Get ready to live the Chumba life and play over 100 online casino-style games for free at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere? Or when you had a green light but did some extreme braking because another driver decided to turn left in front of you? And we've all had to navigate monsoon downpours that turned our streets into Arizona's largest slip and slide. At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires, the best steel, and a huge in-stock selection of the brands you trust. And now's the time to save big with the most rebates we've seen all year on the brands you love, like Michelin, Cooper, and Uniroyal tires, with up to $100 back all month long. And Jack Furrier cardholders get back another $30. Check out jackfurriers.com for details on all our sizzling summer savings. So for all those critical moments where your tires make the difference, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
My heat and air work in a state of disrepair.
Is it hot in here or is it just me?
Honey, I always think you're hot, but it's June, and we all know it's going to get hot in Tucson. It doesn't have to be hot in our house.
Honey, you should call Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. They have the solutions for us.
For all your air conditioning needs, call today, 520-492-0748.
Or visit us at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. N76, visit staples.com/print for details.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show. Women's basketball legend Sue Bird.
Caitlin Clark, obviously, front and center for the WNBA season. What have you seen over the first couple of games for her?
Part of professional sports is you're going to have some stretches. You're going to shoot bad. Your team's going to lose. And how do you respond to that? Everybody's clearly got their defensive game plan built around her, which is a compliment, but you got to figure it out from there.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Is Charlie Woods the most anticipated, follow in the footsteps child of an athletic Hall of Famer we've ever had? Bronny James, as good as he may be, still has to compete within the parameters of a team sport. Golf is individual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along just at the beginning of the social media era. I don't know that there's anybody else.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty, to protect, to serve, to help. When you call 911, first responders show up now. Let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Last week, the Arizona Board of Regents met with the commissioner of the Big 12 Conference, Brett Yormark. I want you to hear more about what Yormark had to say. This is an extended version of his chat with the Regents where he talked about the fiscal plan for the conference in 2024-25, also known as fiscal 25.
I want to talk a little bit about the new Big 12 strategy.
I think we're uniquely prepared for the next chapter of collegiate athletics when you think about our staff and our strategy. And effectively, it kind of starts with me. I think it's fair to say that collegiate athletics is moving closer to where I came from than where we are today. And I'm very prepared for it, and so is my staff. The league will maintain and grow its relevancy. We will prioritize innovation, and we will execute bold ideas. I certainly believe that in this next chapter of collegiate athletics, speed matters, and we need to be bold. And just to kind of speak to some of the things that we've taken on at the conference over the last 12 months that speaks to being bold and innovative and different, we brought our commercial business in-house. Historically, that is an outsourced function, not only with members, but also at the conference level. We decided we wanted to control our revenue stream, and we wanted to build it for all the right reasons. In fact, in our first year, year over year, we're 79% above where we were in our sponsorship. We're 25% above ticket sales year over year. So that change was very instrumental in our growth and will continue to be moving forward. We believe in creating new IP and new platforms for our student athletes, but also at the conference level. And we've begun to do that. A couple of months ago, we launched the first ever permanent seat license around our basketball championship with the ability to raise over $30 million, which is critically important that we afford our schools more resources. Big 12 Pro Day was a collaboration with the NFL. I wanted to give our draft eligible student athletes a platform, a moment where they could showcase their schools, but also provide them with career development. And we did that in partnership with the NFL, only conference to do so, and we'll continue to build on that moving forward. Big 12 Homecoming was our effort to bring what we do at the conference to our member schools. We celebrated the recent realignment that we went through, and this coming fall, we will be on campus at the Four Corners celebrating their arrival as part of Big 12 Homecoming. So be rest assured we're going to develop new platforms that are very much on strategy and on brand, but platforms that we can ultimately monetize as well. We are making a huge commitment to women's sports. We think there's incredible growth there. This year, in fact, with SiriusXM, our partner, we launched a Friday 1-hour show that highlights and glamorizes and elevates Olympic sports with a focus on women's sports. Our conference sponsors 25 sports, of which 15 are women's sports. And we're proud of the commitment we make to women's sports. And in fact, we've gone through some organizational refinement of late, and we have now appointed one of our executives to oversee women's basketball for the first time. She was doing that and more. We feel there needs to be a great focus, a singular focus, no different than what we have with the men's, on women's basketball. And that will take effect July 1. I said when I took this job, one of the main missions and goals of our conference was to get on the consciousness of future student athletes. What that means is we have to connect with them wherever they are. I refer to that younger generation as Gen Z. And we've got great strategy that affords us the opportunity to connect where they are. Social media obviously being one, merchandise partnerships being another, and using music to tell our story and connecting with notable artists. In fact, this past year for our football championship, we were the first conference ever to have a halftime show with Nelly. It showed that we can bridge the past and the future. And he choreographed that halftime show with our bands, our school bands, which was critically important. Something else to note is that as you think about growing audiences and viewership, as we got into halftime, we had the biggest ratings peak for the championship game, which meant we brought in a new audience to experience the Big 12 in a different way during halftime. So we'll be doing that more than ever before moving forward. And it's part of our long-term strategy for the Big 12. As we think about the team that will execute that strategy, when I inherited the Big 12 less than 2 years ago, we had 23 members of the front office, if you will. We lacked depth. We lacked subject matter expertise, and candidly, we lacked succession planning. All that has changed. Our board decided to invest in human capital, and this is the team here that will create value for our member institutions. We have 5 key verticals. We have brand, we have marketing and communications in one. We have our commercial business, which is our second major vertical. Our third vertical is our competition vertical, which effectively houses football, men's and women's basketball, and Olympic sports. We have our chief legal and business affairs officer that oversees compliance as well as impact. And our fifth and final key vertical is our chief financial officer who oversees both finance, HR, and office operations. But this is the team that will be interfacing with your ADs throughout the year in creating as much value as we can. Priorities for fiscal 25. So when I got to the Big 12, we didn't have a business plan. We didn't have a strategic plan. We're starting to do things a little differently. So we have a strategic plan. We have an annual budget, zero-based budget, and we're running it like a business. So I took some of the key elements of this year's business plan to discuss here today. First and foremost, maximize brand relevance. You know, that's a key for me. We might not be the biggest conference. We might not drive the most revenue today, although we're not conceding that to anyone. But developing our brand relevance is critically important because effectively that's all you have. And I will tell you that today, our brand relevance is at the highest level as it's ever been in the history of the Big 12, and it will continue to grow. We need to enhance our football narrative. I've met with our ADs. That's at the core of what we do, and we plan on doing that. In fact, this summer, when we introduce our 16-team member league for the first time, we'll do it in Vegas on one of the biggest stages possible. We moved it out of Texas, and we're excited about being in Vegas at a big stage to really start that new football narrative as a 16-team member league. We want to do all that while not compromising our position in basketball. We are the #1 basketball conference in America, and we got stronger with the Four Corners, and we need to continue to double down there. And we need to continue to double down on Olympic sports and grow that for all the right reasons. And we got better again, you know, through realignment in the Four Corner schools. For me, it's about creating value and driving revenue for our memberships. We need to be bold. We need to be different. Spent a lot of time with our board and ADs last week discussing how we're going to drive revenue. How are we going to create value for the membership moving forward? Expense management is another key. And I think we're going through that not just at the conference, but all of us are thinking about expense management differently. And I think for me, it's a distinction between investing in what you need versus investing in what you want. And we have to be disciplined about that. We have to invest in all the right areas so we can grow the enterprise, we can grow the value of our conference, and we can help to grow our member institutions. Enhance strategies with media partners, critically important. So everyone knows we will commence a new TV deal with ESPN and Fox in fiscal 26. It's a 6-year deal. The reason we doubled down with ESPN and Fox is because we felt they were best positioned to elevate and amplify everything we do as a conference. So working with them strategically to help grow this conference, our narrative, to provide our student athletes with the biggest stages possible, very, very important. And we need to continue to invest in student athletes on and off the field. Those last two that have asterisks, I'm going to further develop those points here in a moment, but critically important as part of our business plan moving forward. So let's talk about our media strategy with ESPN and Fox. Storytelling will be critical around football, basketball, and Olympic sports. You know, our relationship with our media partners has been very operationally focused. It's now become strategically focused. We meet with them every quarter. We're very ambitious in what we ask for. Critically important that they are the catalyst for growing and elevating this conference in all the right ways. Enhance production value to showcase our sports at the highest levels. That's another piece that we have to work with our media partners. We need our production to be at the highest levels as we showcase our student athletes and as we showcase our member institutions. We want them to expand year-round coverage of the Big 12, starting with Media Day and going 12 months a year. And we're working on how they can drive meaningful content that connects with future student athletes in all the right ways. We're also working with our partners on strategic scheduling, not only to benefit our student athletes, but to also give us the right moments to elevate and amplify our sports. As you know, when you think about football on Saturdays, a lot of clutter there. How do we become bold and innovative with our scheduling? How do we do more Friday nights, which we're going to do? How do we do some Thursday nights? Comes with challenges, but we're going to have to move in that direction if we want to further monetize our sports in that next TV cycle. And then working with them, obviously, on entertainment enhancements, no different than what we did last year for our halftime show for our football championship. These are some of the key focus areas that we have for ESPN and Fox. The conversation are led by me and my staff, and we're very excited about the commitment both have made to this conference moving forward.
All right, so there you go. That is the commissioner of the Big 12 Conference, Brett Yormark, talking about the fiscal plan for this coming year, the first year that the Four Corner schools, Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Oregon, will be members of the Big 12 Conference. It all starts for real on July 1st with the turning of the clock into that new fiscal calendar on the collegiate athletic landscape. One of the things I heard over the weekend in terms of, he was talking about just kind of the football print and the scheduling and days and Thursdays and Fridays, is that the bowl season this year is going to be moving up a week, which means for the first time we're going to have bowl games on the first Saturday, which also traditionally includes the Army-Navy game. So what I'm hearing, though, is that the bowl games will be around the Army-Navy game. So there'll be a game probably in the morning hours, and then there'll be the Army-Navy game, and then there'll be another bowl game after that, as not to take away from the pageantry, which is America's game every year when Army and Navy square off in Philadelphia. So that'll be a first.
And that's, been the conversation for 40 years. How do you do a playoff in college football?
Right.
Because you have to have multiple weekends involved in a playoff if you're talking about more than, what are they up to, 12 this time around, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, it was inevitable that they would have to push it back. Otherwise, you're talking about playing the national championship game and the Super Bowl in the same weekend, right?
Yeah. Which you wouldn't want to. I mean, in theory, that sounds awesome. Give me the college football national championship on a Saturday and the NFL national championship on a Sunday
or Sunday, Monday,
and
maybe.
Call it football, the football in America weekend or something like that. I don't know if the media would necessarily like it because you'd have to choose between which one you go to. But and you just said Monday. That goes back to the whole debate of again, let's move the national championship game back to Saturday. I mean, college football's played on Saturday. Let's move that game. I mean, the NFL plays their championship game on their traditional day. Why doesn't college play their national championship game on their traditional day?
Yeah, football and basketball, right?
Yeah,
are both Mondays.
Yeah. Exactly. Both the NCAA, and the national championship game and the Final Four championship game are both on Mondays.
And that's why that Tuesday is one of the more taken off of work days in the calendar year.
Exactly. I'd love to see the national championship football game move back. Saturday night, are you kidding me? That would be awesome. I'd take that. Saturday night. Let's get that going. All right, DK on the sports tip. Much more coming up for you as well in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll dive into all of what we heard from Brett Yormark. There's more we'll get into tomorrow as well. It was a lot I couldn't get through and parse it all up for today's show, so we'll get the rest of that parsed up for tomorrow. Some interesting things from Desiree Reed-Francois. We'll get into that. We'll also get into some responses I told you about her moving her office. That was my top takeaway, that she has moved her office from McHale Center to the Clements Academic Building. And we'll read you some of the folks that have chimed in on that. Always good stuff. It's DK on the Sports Tip. J-Dub is here. Cricket is here. My name is David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With collisions that are reported Bear Canyon and Tanque Verde and Bear Canyon, and a collision on the southwest side at Valencia and Oak Tree Drive and Valencia. A 71 the overnight low. There is an excessive heat warning. 11 a.m. tomorrow through 8 p.m. on Thursday. 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Every business faces challenges, but shipping shouldn't be one of them. Turn shipping to your advantage with USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. 2 games into the NBA Finals, and one thing is already clear. It's over. And save your Boston only defended the home court nonsense. Miss me with a series doesn't start until the home team loses. This one is over. Done. D-U-N. Done, done, done. Dallas had no chance in Game 1. Not when Kristaps went into full unicorn mode, but they definitely had a look last night. Heck, they had so much more than a look last night. Boston wanted to give that game away in the fourth quarter. They were desperate to hand the Mavs that game, but Dallas was not desperate enough to take it from them. Boston wanted Dallas to win way more than Dallas wanted Dallas to win. And the truth is, the Mavs really had no right even being in that game. Not when you saw the way Luka showed up to the arena. My gosh, my man looked like he had just come out of a coffin or was about to enter one. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Get in on the playoff action as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason. Download the app right now. Use the code ROME for a first deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center. Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com. Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really matter, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
You are paying too much for gas because you're paying for gas. Why pay for gas when you can pay for a new Blazer EV at O'Reilly Chevrolet and save $7,500 right off the top? That's just where the savings start. So use your electronic phone and go to O'Reilly.com and see them all in person on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or call 747-8000. Trade up and trade in and put gas in your rearview mirror. See us today at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rocket Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock and Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock and Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 3 of the first show of the week, Monday. Hope your Monday is going well after the weekend. What did you do this weekend? Tell us the favorite thing you did over the weekend. 520-848-1290. I talked about how I tried to go to Second Saturdays, but it was canceled. What's going on with that? I'll have to jump on that and see what's happening, why they canceled. Sometimes they've done it in the past due to weather, but it did not appear that this was a weather issue, that they canceled it a week out.
There was a long, extended period of time where they canceled it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It used to be called Downtown Saturday Nights, and then
Right.
they canceled it because of crime for like 15 years.
Crime.
And then they started it back up about 10 years ago, something like that. But yeah, one would assume it has to be logistics, right? I mean,
something like that, maybe.
Because weather, I mean, you just said it. It wasn't as if there
It was hot, but it wasn't like scorching hot Saturday.
Yeah, no, not too bad.
No.
I tried to effort it myself. I couldn't find any information for you. Sorry about that. So,
all right.
If anybody out there knows,
let us know so we can let all of you know. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We are your afternoon information program, so if we don't have the information and you have the information, we would love to get that information for sure. Why don't we check in on the Arizona Diamondbacks now and let you know what happened with them over the weekend?
Let's do it.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff!
Yeah, it was a rough weekend. The Diamondbacks, unfortunately, have been dealing with some bullpen issues due to lack of. Well, it goes back to that start where Zach Gallen had to basically leave after 11 pitches,
right?
And it totally has kind of screwed up the bullpen. I think that was back on May the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. He pitched less than an inning and had to leave, and then they had to do a bullpen game that day to get through that, and it's kind of really messed with things. They've had to make a ton of roster moves over the weekend, calling up relievers, using a reliever for extras, sending them down. I mean, Friday night they lost 10-3. Saturday they got pounded 13-1. Yesterday, though, they got out of there with a little bit better result than the other 2 nights.
Doc hits it hard and throw into right field. Newman's home. Here comes Corbin. Tatis comes up firing, and Corbin's in there. Jock Peterson makes it 3-1 Diamondbacks. Hitters count for Gurriel. 2 on and 2 out. Lourdes hits it hard and fair up the line. It got by Solano. Marte's home. Jock Peterson coming around third. Here's the relay. Peterson is safe. Layup jumped all over the rookie, making just his second start. And McCarthy sends one deep to right field. Jake McCarthy! And there it goes. Jake McCarthy, a home run in San Diego. And it's 7-1 Diamondbacks. You wanted offense, you got it.
6 runs in the second inning in that game Sunday at Petco Park, and the Diamondbacks would go on to win it by a score of 9-3. They banged out 15 hits in the contest again, but it was another bullpen game. The Diamondbacks used 7 pitchers yesterday to get that win. Scott McGuff was the starter. He went 2 1/3, gave up a run in the first. Then Tommy Henry came on and pitched 2 1/3. Kevin Ginkel had to go kind of in the middle of the game. He usually pitches at the back end, but Ginkel was in the game in the 4th yesterday. Solid inning and a third, allowed just 1 hit. Mantiply had to go an inning and a third. Martinez had to go an inning and a third. And then they kind of got a little bit back to normal with Ryan Thompson and Brian Jarvis each going an inning, pitching the 8th and the 9th to wrap things up. And Jarvis, a very quick 9th inning, needed only 5 pitches to dispatch of the Padres to get the 9-3 win. Again, it was actually a 4-game series, so the Diamondbacks get the split. But this was a game that Torey Lovello let his team know early on was of high importance.
The midseason must-win category, and I think this team came out ready to play and showed how tough they are. I'm really proud of what we did. Yesterday was not an easy game to sit and watch or have to play in, and the guys responded as well as I'd hoped. They made a statement from the first pitch of the game all the way through until the last pitch. It tells me that they're locked in and focused, because hitting with men in scoring position is an art. You just don't go up there wildly and swing and expect to get extension on balls. And in the areas when we didn't, the next guy up would pick somebody up. I'm thinking of the Gurriel at bat. That was a huge moment. That kind of gave us a little bit more of a padding and room to play. But it was just a really good approach and a very focused effort.
Yeah, he was talking about that game on Saturday that they lost 13-1, and they had to bring Pavin Smith in the 9th or the 8th inning to finish that game out because the bullpen has been so taxed. Logan Allen gave up 6 runs in 1 inning. I believe he was designated for assignment on Sunday, so we'll see what his future holds in a Diamondback uniform. But the Snakes 31-35. I mean, they're still not in a great spot at the moment. 9.5 games behind the Dodgers, sitting in 4th place right now. San Diego 8 games out. San Francisco 8.5 out. Diamondbacks 9.5 out, and the Rockies sitting in the basement 17. There's already talk that the Diamondbacks may be looking to deal Eugenio Suarez, who is hitting just 200 on the season. He was brought in here to play third has not hit this season, and so he may be on the trading docket. We shall see as we move forward. An off day today for the D-backs, and then they'll get back to work tomorrow at home against the Los Angeles Angels, who are equally as bad, even worse. 25-40 are the Angels. They'll come in here tomorrow night. That'll be a 6:40 first pitch.
The good news, DK, is that everybody else is pretty much in the same boat. If you look at the NL West, only the Dodgers are over 500.
Yeah.
The Padres are 34-35 in second place. Look at the NL Central. The Reds, DK, are 32-34 in second place.
Yeah.
Only the Brewers are above 500. The Phillies and Braves, both in the East, but that's 4 total teams in the National League. 4 above 500. So even though the Diamondbacks are sitting at 31-35, the other teams aren't exactly running away with it. There's some wild card movement there. They got a lot of baseball to be played. Figure some things out in the bullpen. I think they'll be okay.
Well, they're only 1 game out of the wild card, at least the 3rd wild card spot. The Braves have the 1st wild card, and then the Padres, and then it's San Francisco, Cincinnati, Chicago, St. Louis, all tied for that 3rd spot, with the Pirates a half game out and the Diamondbacks 1 out.
I don't think technically that we're legally allowed to use the term logjam at this point of the season, but that's what we're looking at. I mean, everybody's hovering around that 31-32 wins. A whole bunch of teams basically in the same boat.
That's a logjam for sure. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. Hey, we've got another great promotion for you folks, and I'm going to give you a keyword. In fact, I'm going to give you that keyword for that promotion right now, but first I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. I don't know this country singer, Chris Jansen. Are you familiar with Chris Jansen?
I've heard the name.
Okay, so he's a country singer, and apparently he loves Bass Pro Shops. That's like, in fact, he wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here it comes. What you see is what you get. Bass Pro is my second home. That's not how it goes, but that's my best recollection of it.
It sounded just great.
Thank you very much. That's an old Saturday Night Live thing.
You're right.
With, I think, Eddie Murphy. So Chris Jansen wrote a song, What You See Is What You Got. What you get, sorry. What you see is what you get. Talks about how Bass Pro is his second home. And now I want to make Bass Pro your second home. We're partnering with Chris Jansen to hook one winner up with a $10,000 Bass Pro shopping spree. 10 grand to spend at Bass. Can you get a boat for 10 grand? Do they sell boats at Bass Pro? I know they sell like boating, like attire, but could I get a boat there too?
Well, the old Memphis Pyramid, right, where the Tigers used to play, is now a Bass Pro Shop.
Biggest Bass Pro Shop.
That thing that's the size of a college basketball arena, so I would assume there's got to be a boat or two in there,
Yeah.
right?
Somebody asked me about that last week when I was telling them that I used to live in Memphis. They were like, "Oh yeah, I went to a game there one time at the Pyramid." I said, "Yeah, well, that's a Bass Pro Shop."
I never went to a game there, but I drove past it while it was a Bass Pro Shop. We went to Mud Island and we saw the Ava brothers play. It's right. Mud Island is right down the street. It's right there.
I used to hang out on Mud Island.
Yeah, it's a nice spot.
A little bit. It's a very nice spot. So Bass Pro Shops, $10,000 shopping spree. You'll get to raid the store, pick out all your favorite Bass Pro Shops and Cabela branded gear.
Is that like all you can carry? Because if you had a boat, you could just put it on wheels. You could just carry everything out of there.
Right. Just put it on the boat and wheel the boat out of there with hook it up to your trailer. Right. So I'm going to give you a keyword right now. This is how it works here. I give you the keyword. You text it to the short code. I'm going to give you the short code, and you have a chance to win this $10,000 Bass Pro Shop shopping spree. Now, I'll tell you, this is a national contest, so I'm not the only one doing this across the country, but you still have a chance to win. All right, so here is the short code. You're going to text the keyword I give you to 95819. 95819 coming up right now, and your keyword is fish. Fish. Text fish right now to 95819. You got a chance to enter to win a $10,000 Bass Pro Shops shopping spree, courtesy of Chris Jansen. What you see is what you get. You ain't seen nothing yet. And Wildcats Radio 1290. So how about that? Fish. Listen for the keyword. 4 keywords a day. All right. There'll be a keyword between 6 and 9 for the next 2 weeks. It goes till the end of next Friday. So all this week and all next week. There'll be a keyword between 6 and 9. Another keyword between 9 and 12. Another keyword between 12 and 3. And then another keyword between 3 and 7. So your keyword right now, this is the 4th keyword of the day, we're at the end of the day, is fish. Text fish to 95819 for your chance to win the Bass Pro Shops $10,000 shopping spree, courtesy of Wildcats Radio 1290 and Chris Jansen.
There's been some controversy in that world recently.
In the
fishing world.
Oh, fishing world? Now, what's going on? I missed that.
A couple years back, they caught some people putting a bunch of weights into their fish before this. They put them on the scales, and they got banned for long periods of time.
I saw a video of a guy catching a 16-pound largemouth bass with his hands. That was floating around on the internet over the weekend.
Just got lucky, or
no? I guess he had the minnow. He just put the minnow down on the water. And was like kind of wiggling around the minnow and waited till he saw the thing come up and then reached down out of the boat and grabbed it by its wide-mouthed bass mouth and pulled it on up. And then I think he threw it back in. After.
I've seen him do that.
I don't think he was keeping it.
I've seen him do the catfish thing with the holes. Because catfish get real big.
Yeah.
And they don't have teeth, but they swallow. So like if you basically put your arm or your leg inside those holes in the Mississippi, right near Mud Island, I'm sure. And they catch catfish like that with, I can't remember what it's called. There's a name for it, but yeah, crazy.
Mud Island. Yeah, Man, that brings back some memories. All right, getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported in Crash and Oro Valley at Oracle and Hardy, Hardy and Oracle, Valencia and Wilmot, Wilmot and Valencia, and also in the clearing stages, Bear Canyon and Tanca Verde, and also Valencia and Oak Tree Drive. 71 the low. There is an excessive heat warning 11 a.m. tomorrow through 8 p.m. on Thursday with the highs near about 108. It is 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Discover. As humans, we like having options. One option you might like is speaking with a real person when you call about your credit card. With 24/7 live U.S.-based customer service from Discover, everyone can talk to a real person anytime, day or night. Limitations apply. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Not all sports stations are built the same way. 1290 has Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball, plus the NFL and the Super Bowl. Tucson Trust's 1290. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey everybody, it's Chris Jansen. You've heard me sing about Bass Pro in my latest single, What You See Is What You Get.
I go out to Bass Pro, yeah, 'cause that's my second home.
Well, now I'm going to hook one of you up with a $10,000 shopping spree to pick out all your favorite Bass Pro shops and Cabela's branded gear on me.
And your chance to win is right now. Text the word FISH. FISH to 95819.
I ain't trying to hide, what you see is what you get.
Again, text FISH to 95819. Your chance to win only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Time for the hot weather polar bear promise. Alaskan AC arrives in 1 day or your repair is free.
Wait, say that again?
We arrive in 1 day or your repair is free?
Again, but longer on the A.
We arrive in 1 day
or your repair is free. Hear it?
No. Alaskan AC, service guarantee. We arrive in 1 day
or your repair is free. By George, he's got it. With the Alaskan AC service guarantee, we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Are we really doing this? That's awesome, Gary. With Alaskan AC service guarantee,
we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
We should probably
sing with us, William.
I would really rather. Come on. I don't want to.
Chicken bok bok.
Guys, no. It's catchy.
Do it.
Sing out, Louise. Fine.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Whoa.
Whoa is right.
Can we get back to work now?
Schedule anytime at alaskanac.com.
Incredible.
Attention talcum powder users. Have you had ovarian or gynecological cancer? A proposed $8 billion plan will pay those who believe they got sick from using talc products like Johnson's Baby Powder and Shower to Shower. Johnson & Johnson maintains its products are safe. You have until July 26, 2024 to vote to accept or reject the plan. For more information, visit officialtalclaims.com or call 888-431-4056. Paid for by LLT Management, LLC.
I learned a lot of life lessons from my dad.
He's been there my entire life, and he's been a great example of what a father should be.
He always embraced and taught me to be a cowboy.
Dad has the weight of the world on his shoulders.
The guy is extremely talented and very knowledgeable.
He's a good man and a strong man who's not afraid to do what he needs to do for his family.
It ain't easy every day, and he dang sure made it look easy.
And I'll always be thankful for that.
Boot Barn, keep west.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy?
Totalmente.
Now you can get 50% off any unlimited data phone plan. That's one line for only $25 a month, and you keep the phone you love. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. So find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Offer ends July 31st, 2024. Promo subject to cancellation after 12 months. Available exclusively online and in Total by Verizon stores. Requires a compatible unlocked device and SIM. See totalbyverizon.com for device compatibility and additional details. Taxes and fees may apply.
Attention talcum powder users. Have you had ovarian or gynecological cancer? A proposed $8 billion plan will pay those who believe they got sick from using talc products like Johnson's Baby Powder and Shower to Shower. Johnson & Johnson maintains its products are safe. You have until July 26, 2024 to vote to accept or reject the plan. For more information, visit officialtalclaims.com or call 888-431-4056. Paid for by LLT Management, LLC.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Kohl's. This season, find everyday style at great prices at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. The roster for the USA basketball team is set for this summer's Olympic Games in Paris. The squad is headlined by the last two WNBA MVPs, Asia Wilson and Breanna Stewart. Notably, Caitlin Clark did not make the final roster, even though she was invited to the team's training camp back in April. While Clark won't be competing in the Olympics, her Indiana Fever head coach Christy Sides knows that it's just a small setback for the basketball superstar.
That's the hardest team in the world to make, right? Like, that is a tough team. She's young. She's going to have so many opportunities in the future. She got the call on the bus, and she texted me to let me know. And, I just tried to keep her spirits. I mean, the thing she said was, hey, Coach, they woke a monster, which I thought was awesome.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Olivia Harlan-Decker on Westwood One.
So I just went to Kohl's to shop their first ever customer appreciation event. And now I'm here to spill the details. Because I'm a Kohl's card holder, I got an extra 30% off. Or if you're a rewards member, you get 20% off. Even non-members can save with 15% off. And as an added bonus, Kohl's also has great prices on Father's Day gifts, like top activewear, Sephora cologne, grilling gear, and more. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss out. Hurry to Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora. Offers end June 16th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save. Because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
At T-Mobile, you can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, switch and keep your phone. We'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device credit service and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. In fact, Raul checks in on the text groove, says, hey, DK, like I said before, awesome show and guest. Didn't catch the first part of your show on Friday. But you were talking about changing the World Series softball venue. We discussed that on Friday, how it is at Hall of Fame Stadium. I think they may have a corporate name for that now. But it's still Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City. And Oklahoma, of course, has won now 4 in a row, playing essentially a home game when they get to the championship series. Raul goes on. Arizona won their last time in 2007, went to the final with UCLA in 2010, mainly because of their pitching, and it was in Oklahoma. U of A, I think, hasn't gone after top pitchers like they used to in the 90s and 2000s. To be fair, I know there's new coaching in Arizona, but Arizona shouldn't be hard to sell. That local girl from CDO, I think, is going to Oregon State. I wonder if she was ever recruited for the U of A, or was she overlooked or under-recruited? We can have great hitters up and down the lineup, but without just one special pitcher, U of A will settle for fighting for third place every year. Just my opinion. Thank you. That is Raul. I'm not sure who he's talking about, the pitcher from Canyon del Oro. I have to see who that is that's going to Oregon State, but outstanding, definitely. You got to have pitching. I mean, there's no question about that. We saw that in that tournament. I mean, what Kelly Maxwell did coming over from Oklahoma State. What was it? The Rothrock young lady did. Yeah. I mean, dominant pitching is still going to win in college softball. So if you can get dominant pitching, you've got a chance to be in Oklahoma City because that's where they hold it. We talked to Ryan Radke about that on Friday. He said, hey, until somebody builds a 12,000-seat facility, I'm shocked, J-Dub. I'm shocked that that nobody has attempted to even try to do that. I mean, Eric, you would think Phoenix would be the perfect place to build a 12,000-seat facility. And not only, you know what I would do? I would build a 15,000-seat facility and like they did at where did the Diamondbacks play? Salt River, and put some covering over it.
I don't see why you can't have a multi-purpose facility.
Right.
Like, I understand that the dimensions for softball is very unique. There really isn't anything else that you can put into that kind of footprint. However, you can use that extra space and bring the seats in when you're setting it up for softball. I mean, that's what they do if you want to shift the hockey arena over to play basketball, for instance. There has to be a middle ground there where you could have a facility large enough to have concerts or whatever, because therein lies the problem. 15,000 seat softball specific spot makes sense because it was built there for the Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
It's called Devon Park.
Devon Park now? Okay.
Yeah, it's the Devon Park, originally known as the Don Porter ASA Hall of Fame Stadium. And, that's built specifically for the Hall of Fame in Oklahoma City. And the way I understand it is that USA softball's been there since the 40s or 50s. I mean, it's not a new thing.
Yeah.
They've been located in Oklahoma City for a long time. But I agree. I looked it up, and I think that place there is 4,000 or 5,000 seats larger than the second largest softball venue available.
I mean, we're missing out on an opportunity here, people. I mean, it's funny because what I kept reading a lot, everybody always tweets this around Women's College World Series time. If you build it, they will come because of the great crowds they get in Oklahoma City. Well, there you go. You got to build it. If you want that venue that tournament to be held somewhere else, you got to build a venue somewhere else. And if I was the West, I would try to jump on that because because I bet you them folks down in the South are just seething at the chance to put a venue in the middle of Atlanta or somewhere. It was funny if you had a chance to listen to any of the full Brett Yormark press conference with the Regents. He joked about, somebody asked him, well, how are we talking to the other power? Now it's the Power 4. It was the Power 5. Are we talking to the other Power 3 conferences about how to manage NIL and the transfer portal? And he said, well, in fact, I'm going down to Florida in a couple of weeks. And somebody said, Florida? because of course, Arizona is the haven for, every athletics meeting in the world is here in Arizona. I mean, the Major League the owners come out here every year. The NFL owners come out here every year. But in college, everything is shifted to the Southeast.
Well, I mean, you just started this show today talking about the final events in athletics for the Pac-12 conference. And what are we even talking about here? If you had this brought up in the 80s or 90s, let's build a 20,000 seat stadium somewhere in California for softball, DK, back when only Arizona and UCLA won championships. There was no such thing as an SEC softball champion. There was no such thing as an ACC softball champion. They didn't exist back then, okay? If you had done it then every single high school student athlete would have clamored to continue going to the Pac. I think these last 15 or so, 20 years, a lot of the SEC football money has been pumped back into their venues and whatnot for women's athletics, and more power to them. They were late to the party, DK, late to the party. But in these last 15 or 20 years, those leagues have done tremendous things to build up the infrastructure for women's athletics. And I think, that time was in the 80s and 90s. We're talking about how dominant this conference was in women's athletics back in those days. Now this conference doesn't exist anymore.
No. And it's sad, but it is the reality of where we are right now. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Would you back a 15 to 20,000 seat softball facility here in Arizona? I guarantee you, if you build it, but who knows with the NCAA? I think they at least would have to address potentially moving it out of Oklahoma City. But until somebody builds another facility, it's not going to happen.
The center of the country is somewhere in the middle of Kansas, right?
Somewhere.
So Oklahoma's close enough. I mean, logically, if you're talking about having, I think having national championships that are consistently in one spot that happen to be in the center of the country is better than on one of the coasts. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, and the other thing, obviously, and I don't know if cost, in terms of cost, I mean, you got to be there for sometimes as long as 2 weeks, at least a week and a half.
Yeah.
You're going, it's not like football where you're in and out.
Right. You got to have hotels and everything else.
Basketball, you're in and out in the weekend. I mean, you got to, for baseball and softball, you got to stay for a week and a half. And baseball used to be, when U of A went in 2012, that was an entire 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think they've shortened it down a little bit. But you're talking to have to go. Who can afford? I mean, yeah, you can go to Omaha for 2 weeks. But what if it was in Miami? Who can afford to go to Miami for 2 weeks? Or someplace like that. If it was in L.A., you can't go to L.A. and cover something for 2 weeks, put teams up for 2 weeks. That's insanely a lot
student
of money.
rates.
Insane amount of money right there. All right, we are joined by the third member of our program. She is back with us again. Her name is Cricket.
Hi.
Hey, did you guys know? You guys know what today is the anniversary of?
I do.
What is that?
Speed.
Oh, well, that, but I wasn't going there. But yeah, since you brought Speed up, I did see that over the weekend as well.
30 years ago today, the movie Speed was released. Yeah.
Oh.
And there was a line in there about wasn't Keanu Reeves was wearing
Wildcat, and they called her the Wildcat. So there was a whole Arizona Wildcats thing with Sandra Bullock's character. Yeah.
I was going that today is the 17th anniversary of the final episode of The Sopranos.
Ah.
Oh.
Did you watch The Sopranos, Cricket?
I did not.
No?
No.
Do you have HBO?
No.
Have you ever had HBO?
I think back in like the 80s when it was the only cable channel that there was. I think we had HBO in the 80s.
You know what I loved about HBO back in the 80s? Remember their intro was like this thing, you'd be like flying through the city, right above the city. I used to love that.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite part. And then you would fly up out of the city into the HBO symbol that was in the sky.
Yeah, that
was so cool.
Cutting edge computer graphics.
Back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day. Were you a Sopranos fan, Jada?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I've probably seen every episode, but I didn't see them live. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I really love The Godfather. I really love Goodfellas. I really love the genre.
You're into the mafia movie kind of thing.
Sopranos was really good. I think after 1 or 2 seasons of the therapy, and it was a lot of the same. It was a lot of he's got a lot of women that aren't his wife he hangs out with, and he goes to his therapist all the time, and here they killed a guy. And yeah, I mean it's definitely that world. I think a lot of people like that world.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
There's something fascinating, I guess, about the mafia world. We went to the mob museum in Las Vegas when we went there, and like I've told that story before. Just hearing the wiretaps and the FBI trying to get the guys, get them for something, just try to shut them down for something, and how hard it is to do that. But the Sopranos, the finale of The Sopranos, 17 years ago today. It just doesn't seem. When you hear that 17 years ago, then you start thinking about it. It's like, yeah, I was living in Memphis. It was the year before I moved here, so yeah, that's about right. But it doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
There was so much more appointment television back then.
Yeah,
is the thing, and so I think a lot of people remember. We're dating us, but a lot of people remember those moments like the finale of MASH and things like that. But when there are 1,000 television channels and 100 million YouTube channels and infinite other entertainment sources, including video games or whatever else it is, that level of cooler talk the next day at work where you go in, did you see can you believe what they did with the final episode of Sopranos? That whole thing, it happens instantly on Twitter and social media and these other places. But that whole, I feel like that group, everybody's got their own thing. More so than everybody being on the same page and everybody having their own, watching history that everybody's watching the same shows.
Who shot JR?
Yeah, exactly.
If you could go back and watch one show from your childhood, what would that be, Cricket?
I don't know. I think I was a little too young for Dallas. But my parents were watching that, so I know. I don't know. I liked like Three's Company and like
Three's Company.
Yeah.
and Cheers. Like I'd probably go pick something like that. Maybe
You know those condos on 6th down from Bob Dobbs? I always see that condo complex. I forget what it's called, but that always
The one from the 60s?
Yeah, it always reminds me. I think that's Three's Company. That they lived in a complex
Yeah, for sure.
like that, and they would go down and hang out at a place like Bob Dobbs. Bob Dobbs was like the Regal Beagle. It's kind of that whole neighborhood. Walk down and have a drink and meet. I wonder what Bob Dobbs was like in the 70s. Did it exist in the 70s, JW? Would not
I
have
don't know. Honestly, I don't know. The first time I went to Bob Dobbs was in the 80s, I think. Not time. The other
Weren't we going to get that guy out? Was it the Bob? No, it was the Trident guy. We were going to
Nelson. Yeah,
Nelson.
That's Cricket's buddy,
That's
Nelson.
right. We got to remember that. I got to remember to look into that. All right, so 17 years ago, Tony Soprano exited stage left, and we still don't know what happened because it just went dark.
Yep.
Right on the last scene there.
I like that though. I like the ambiguity. I like it where you kind of have to maybe have your own version of the event.
Think about what happened. Make it your own. Cricket makes traffic her own. Every 20 minutes on the 5s, Monday through Friday.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. New wreck reported at Broadway and Columbus and Broadway, and other collisions Oracle and Hardy, Valencia and Wilmot, and a stalled vehicle at Park Avenue and Valencia. Overnight low 71, excessive heat warning 11 a.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. on Thursday, and it is 1:01 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Order a Biggie Bag at Wendy's today. When you think of your go-to meal, what do you think of? Because if it's not the Wendy's Biggie Bag with your choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich plus 4-piece nugs, junior fries, and a small soft drink, Wendy's Biggie Bag hits every time. So stop by and grab your ride or die meal. U.S. price and participation may vary.
In the market for a new Silverado, but you've been waiting for discounts or incentives? Well, they're here. And so is our best selection of Silverados in years. And you can see them without even leaving your house at O'Reilly.com.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Hey, it's David Kelly. Do you know the radio is not the only place to find Wildcats Radio 1290? You can stream us by downloading our 1290 app.
A deep three is good, and the Cats are on top.
We're also available on the iHeartMedia and Odyssey apps, or head to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Touchdown, Cats.
We're even on Alexa. Just ask her to put on Wildcats Radio 1290 so you never miss any of Southern Arizona's most important and in-depth conversation.
Total Wine & More has the best Father's Day gifts at the best prices.
Can't wait till you get me this bourbon. These prices are amazing.
Dad, at Total Wine & More, you'll always find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly. B21.
Score free gifts for the greatest dad this Father's Day at Lowe's. Get 2 free select DeWalt tools with your purchase of a 20-volt max battery 2-pack, up to a $438 value. And get a free Werner 2-foot aluminum ladder with purchase of an 8-foot fiberglass ladder. Visit us in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows dads. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/12 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Total Wine & More has the best Father's Day gifts at the best prices.
Can't wait till you get me this bourbon. These prices are amazing.
Dad, at Total Wine & More, you'll always find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly. B21.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5